What's up, guys? Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2.
Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about what is happening around the world, but not just around the world. We're talking about what is happening to untouchable people. Yeah, I think it is clear now where we are headed. For those who felt that it was still a court that looked to be fair, I doubt you still see it that way. If you're still left, it's okay. You will catch up with us. What is happening in that court is disgusting. Yeah. It is a disgrace of note, where one man just does as he please, changes things as he please. There is no procedure that much that is followed in that court. And the silence is very alarming to those who claim to be fighting for law and what they see in that court, and they think that is fitting to be seen all around the world by people who really might have interest, some of them, at heart in investing and doing everything else that they can do to uplift this country. How do you invest in a country that has no law? Right. Let us hear what happened in that court. I don't want to waste time because there's a lot that happened.
Well, court resumed this morning. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us here again for another live stream where we get to deliberate on the shenanigans and the mess that is happening at the Senzo Meyiwa trial. It's bad and it's getting worse and worse with each day. It's very discouraging, and it's very bad what is happening in that court. I don't know what will redeem it, but it's way past redemption at this point. It's horrible. It's a nightmare. It's
a horrible mess. I mean, when they talk about Section 204 statement, you would swear it is a well-polished copyright, copied whatever that they claim it was. It's copyright. But you would really think that they are fighting for something solid. There is nothing. Hey. They are making the same mistakes that they made on the other statements, calling Mapisa different names and Carlos and all that. And you claim that, listening to testimony of Gwabini, he knows these people. He wouldn't have made such mistakes.
No.
He wouldn't be calling Sfiso Ntuli what Zungu. He wouldn't do that.
He knows them.
He knows them. He wouldn't do that. He knows these people. You make the same mistake.
I'm telling you, that court is a crime scene.
You make the same mistake.
It is bad. It's beyond ignoring at this point.
And you find Baloy asking how would you have known that Fiso is Ntuli? How would the names of the girls that are not existing, who could have died, apparently disappeared and all that, and the guy says, I don't know those people, in line with what Moses said.
Well, they don't.
They are treating Gwabini as if Gwabini is an outsider from Moses' house.
Yes.
Gwabini is a family man. Is part of the family, so he knows all these people.
Yes.
And the ones that he says he doesn't know, Moses doesn't know. Obviously, Gwabini is not gonna know. So I don't know where they got this lady, and the story that is created around the incident that happened between Muzi and the girlfriend, which is regrettable, but the story, the build up, you can tell this person was trying so hard to build from that, kept on mentioning that, 11 bullets and all those things.
Remember, we were evaluating and the details of that case at some point. We did it back in like 2022 or something like that.
Yes.
And today I got a deja vu that, oh my God, remember how I was laughing and I was like, oh my God, 11 bullets. And it seems that nobody passed on in such an incident of 11 bullets. We were doing a whole thing here and I was like, oh my God, it's in this so-called statement of Gwabini.
And they're still making all those mistakes. Day in, day out. They're making all those mistakes. And you can tell that these people did not write this thing. They didn't even say this thing. Because let's say Gwabini turned on the statement.
Yes.
Let's say he did make it and turned on it. Would he make such a stupid mistake that is consistent with Mafiga, accused number 2? Sifiso Ntuli Zungu.
No.
That's why he's even correcting them in court. Now, I don't know Sifiso.
I will be. It's very
Nkani and whatnot. Nkani, Sifiso and all those things. And you tell me that the author of these statements is one person.
Someone said maybe a handwriting expert and
no, there's no need for handwritings. We know that
writing expert needs to be called.
No, why? For what?
For the tone and
forget about the tone. Or just to analyze these statements. Honestly, you don't even need an expert. I'm not an expert, but the author of these statements, all 4 of them. They have
one author.
They have one author. The so-called confessions, they have one author and one mind. And that person did not have much information.
Yes.
Whoever was helping that person also did not have
much information.
Detailed, much information.
They just had to make sure they get the names.
Now and then pop in names that are known. But guess what? In that court, it's not clear as we think. In that court,
the state must continually find redemption. The state must just fly without knowing where they are flying to.
If they say to me, we made a deal that we are going to take and own these statements, even Absalom Zung statements. If they say we made a deal, it was a deal. We are going to be authors of this statement, but you guys are going to come and take the ownership of them in court. I would agree to that. Maybe I would be tempted to say, maybe if you threw in money there and there, some people might be tempted to sell.
Yeah.
But upon realizing how close Gwabini was to his brother, then I would differ that Gwabini would have sold his brother like that. I know that yes, people can do that, but again, I'm just finding it hard, to accept such allegations.
Yeah, it's not easy.
The statements, I'm 100% convinced that one person wrote those statements, and maybe there was a second person who was assisting with names. That's it.
They sound the same. Different stories.
We did novels. You can tell, man, if a song is written by a certain person, even if someone else sings it, you can tell. This person, the song, it has that person. They sound the same. There is no Like, even the stupidity of trying to throw in all the names that you have heard about one person, Sifiso, aka what do they call Ntul? Ntul Zungu, Mafi. What was the other name that they use? Fiso. There's this other one, Nkani, is Nkani.
Yes.
Stuff like that. Like you can tell the person who was writing was very, very stupid.
They needed to hold on to every bit.
If you are going to create something like this, you need to be creative. Yes, there and there you can make mistakes to sound like the person obviously is not that much learned. But this thing of throwing everything, redundancy, and even making mistakes about names, and then repeating mistakes on two different statements that were written by two different people, repeating those mistakes.
So accused number 1 and Gwabini have mistakenly called these people with wrong names the same way.
Not accused number 1. This is where this thing is funny. The mistakes about the names are in accused number 2 statements. About accused number 5. More so about accused number 5. Where you'll find your normally and whatnot.
Yes.
Like,
they're in accused number 2 statement.
Yes.
And we remember that in the statement of Constable Zungu, similar mistakes were there.
Exactly.
Of names.
Exactly.
And now in Gwabini's statement, similar. How? What?
If I was Nis, I was gonna, more especially when it comes to those mistakes that are common between accused number, the so-called confession and this section 204 statement, allegedly section 204 statement, I would have taken them, put them together.
Yes.
And asked him, in your opinion, do you think you would have made the same mistake as Muzi, calling Fiso
as Constable Zungu,
or as Constable Zung? Also, because Constable Zung, same thing happened
by calling accused number 3 Carlos
and accused number. Because accused number 3 is not even an issue. He does not know. He doesn't know accused number. Yes.
How
you
can
have done
make
that?
the exact same mistakes of referring to these people in the exact same way?
Exactly.
That's not possible.
If you wrote this statement, would you have written it like that? Such that you are making a mistake? Because this is now where you need to poke holes. The policeman Zung made the same mistake, corrected himself.
Yes.
The silver car, grey, washy, what. The other guy, accused number 2, same thing. Now it is with Gwabini. So if you take this statement side by side, I'm telling you, even the dumbest of all would know that this was written by one person and the author is also one person.
So yes, court resumed with the interpreter transcribing the explanation of the legal terminology that was used when Advocate Baloyi was describing the Section 204 yesterday. So Baloyi started the cross-examination for the day by asking Gwabini, we asked you about your testimony that you handed 2,000 rands allegedly to Sergeant Mohani when you were taken to Foslaura's court on the 25th of June 2020. However, you maintained that you handed an amount of 3,000 rands to him. Well, Gwabini said no, it was he was feeling hot-headed. It was his hot-headedness. The amount was actually 2,000 rands. So he corrected himself there. And Baloyi said, but Mr. Zungu, you maintained that it was 3,000 rands. And when we tried to probe you on your evidence that it was 2,000 rands, you said it was 3,000 rands. Well, Gwabini said, yes, you did try. But that day, as I say, I got confused. Very long day. Now we cross-examination yakho yayibona advocate Baloyi ayiphelli. It's taking forever and never. So a witness is tired. A witness gets confused. You're asking one question 5 different ways in 5 different types, and then you bring it again the following day. You can't tell umntana bantu. So Baloyi then said, now, are you changing your evidence that it was not 3,000 rands, it was 2,000 rands? And Gwabini said yes. Baloyi said, okay. So in your evidence in chief, you testified that after Brigadier Gininda took down the statement on the 24th of June 2020 at Primrose Police Station, Sergeant Mohola showed you a picture on the phone that depicted Mafika, accused number 2, wearing a long sleeve red shirt, jeans and Cavella shoes. You then said you know him. He's from back home. Sergeant Mohola then said to you that you were looking for him, Umafika. But accused number 2 was already arrested on the 16th of June 2020. So at the time when Sergeant Mohola met you with Brigadier Gininda on the 24th of June 2020, accused number 2 was already arrested. Also, there came an interesting point where Advocate Baloyi there read that the 24th of June 2020 was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Turns out it wasn't on a Sunday. It was actually a Wednesday.
It was.
So this is interesting.
And he has been saying that.
And on top of that, when did accused number 2 go for the confession with Grunier? Was it the 23rd or the 24th of June?
I think it was around that time, 24th or something.
So she could have possibly taken a confession from Tanzi on a Sunday. Did it sound like it was taken on a Sunday? I think they mentioned the day of the week. If we go back and we roll
it would
the
be a
proceedings.
day of the week.
It was a Wednesday. So what's going on? Why is it on a Sunday on this statement?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well,
But thank you, Maria Kambi. To increase the monthly payment, you probably have to choose a different package of membership.
yes.
Thank you for membership renewal, or I don't know whether it's new. I can't remember correctly, but yeah, no, it's renewal. Yeah, you'd have to choose a different package. The one upper, because I think there are 3 packages. That's how you probably have to you'd increase your monthly payment, or you just want to pay for or you can pay for what, maybe on the same package pay for 3 months or so. I don't know. I've seen people doing that.
It's entirely up to you.
It's up to you. I'm just looking
Yes.
at other at options. But thank you again.
But there is that option to pay for more than 1 month, and we really appreciate it. But thank you. Thank you so much, Magwande. So Baloyi then said on the 18th of June 2020, Mafika took them to Sibanye, where he used to work. And Gininda's response there was that Advocate Baloyi was mistaken. Mafika was arrested after he was arrested. So Gwabini maintains that Untanzi was arrested after him, not before him. So Baloyi then said on the 18th of June 2020, Mafika...
So they arrested accused number 1. And then Gwabini. Then Muzi. But
then Advocate Baloyi is denying this. He's saying that the dates are saying that he was arrested, Mafika was arrested first before Gwabini. So it was Muzi, and then accused number 2 Mafika, and then Gwabini. What is the point of this denial?
The point of denial. I think with Balo, what is left with now is character.
Oh, he's assassinating
That's
the character.
that's all I think I can think of.
Shame.
I mean, what you are left with is character. Just to this is the witness that you
badger
could
the
have, yeah,
witness.
badger the witness, and yeah.
Oh, Skepsel. So at this point, accused number 2 raised his hand, and Gininda said, I don't know how we are going to go about getting proof of this. Not Gininda, my apologies, Gwabini, because with what they were doing, they were just getting nowhere. Lungisani is the person who will be able to come and tell the truth. That's what he said. And he said that when he got released, it was actually on a Thursday. What? If he remembers that he got released on a Thursday and the 24th was on a Wednesday, he remembers that he got released on a Thursday. And he's saying that Lungisani can come and vouch for that.
He is correct based on his statement. The day before he was released, that's when there was this sitting, right?
False statement, yes.
So this statement was not done on
a Sunday.
On a Sunday. Also, if he was released on when was the 24th? When was the 24th?
The 24th was a Wednesday.
The 24th was on Wednesday.
Yes.
So he was released on the 25th.
If it was on a Thursday.
It's aligning.
It's aligning more with his story, but that Sunday situation. Well, Advocate Baloy said that the record of the accused, or the clocking record of accused number 2, was handed through Mr. Mula, the manager of Stillwater Mines, and he confirmed the evidence of Brigadier Gininda, Sergeant Mohola, that they were at Sibanye Stillwater Mine on the 18th of June 2020. I do recall Mr. Mula confirming that the lead investigator's presence was there at the place of work, asking for an alibi for accused number 2. But Baloy, for some strange reason, is including Sergeant Mohola, and I don't quite recall Mr. Mula being asked if Sergeant Mohola was there. It's just me, just my recollection. I don't remember it going to that extent of asking the police officers whether Mr. Mula knows whether Mohola was there. Even Buthelezi, even the other ones, you understand? I don't recall that ever happening, but for some weird reason, Advocate Baloy included Mohola in this. And, it was quite strange.
Look, when it comes to the police, they believe everything they want to make, I think. I mean, you can't question whether he was there or not, because if he comes and say, he's going to come and say he was there.
Well, Gwabini said, I'm not denying that. I'm denying this thing of saying that Mafika was arrested before me. Mafika was arrested after I was arrested. Muzi was the first person that was arrested. Then Muzi asked to call me without Ntanzi being arrested. And Baloy said, we put it to you that it cannot be correct that Sergeant Mohola showed you a picture of accused number 2 saying that they were looking for him. Well, as accused number 2 was already arrested on the 16th of June 2020. Well, Gwabini said it is true that they showed me that picture. Mafika had not yet been arrested. So it sounds like Mafika got arrested while he was arrested. They arrested him, and then during the course of those 5 or something days, Mafika then was arrested after he was arrested. It sounds that way.
Yes, it does sound like that.
So Baloy then said, yesterday we showed you a statement which bears your name and surname, and your evidence is that it is not the statement that Brigadier Gininda took down on the 24th of June 2020 at Primrose Police Station. Well, Gwabini said, I said that this is not my signature. Baloy then said, you said you only placed an S on the document that you signed. Gwabini said, yes. Are you saying that this is not the statement that you signed on the 24th of June 2020 at Primrose Police Station? Gwabini said, no, it's not. And Baloyi said, you further testified that it was the only statement that was taken down pertaining to this matter. Gwabini said, there, I don't know, but it is not mine. Okay, he's denying the statement now after seeing the signatures. The signatures are not what he testified them to be or what he put there. He said he put an S.
In line with what also Absalom Zungu is saying.
So Baloyi then said, so what happened to that statement that you say you signed by placing an S on the statement? Well, Gwabini said he doesn't know.
How would you know?
Because he's not the one who keeps them. So then Baloyi asked him, in other words, Mr. Zungu, you are not the source or the author of the statement. Well, Gwabini said, I'm not the one who wrote there. And this is one of the questions, in my opinion, that you would ask when you are actually proving a statement. So I don't know whether this is a way to try and confuse the record to make it seem like we tried our best to do the right thing. But I thought this should not matter because the judge already made a ruling that you don't have to do that. You don't have to prove a statement. So I found this question particularly odd. It reminded me of the process that you have to go through when you prove a statement. Well, Baloyi said its origin and the contents are known to you, asking Gwabini, and Gwabini said they are known to him. So Baloyi then said, in light of what you are saying, we are going to take you through the statement to determine whether or not you are the author of that statement. And Gwabini said, if it is from me, then who signed it at the bottom? Whose signatures are those? Baloyi then said, you said you are not the one who signed the statement. Gwabini said, how do you read to me what was not signed by me? Well, Baloyi then said, the law allows it. If you deny the authorship of the statement, we can cross-examine you on this document. So Advocate Baloyi basically wanted the contents of that statement to be on record. Basically. So Mnisi objected at this point, and he said that the state says that they want to demonstrate that the statement that the witness says was not signed by him, that the content thereof was not read back to him, and that the signature that appears on the statement is not the signature, that he does not even know the contents thereof. The state says that they would want to endeavor to demonstrate that that statement comes from him and are relying on a specific authority for that. He said, I'm not aware of the authority. Well, Nami, I did not pick up the authority. I only heard him say that even if you are denying a statement, even if you are saying that that statement is not written by you, I have a right to cross-examine you on that. That's what I heard. There was no authority that was, took to support that. So whether it's allowed or not, it's something that needs
it was a word of mouth
and investigation. Yes, all that I'm aware of is that before a witness could be confronted on the basis of a statement that he allegedly made, that statement must be proved to have been by him, and those jurisdictional factors that need to be complied with or to be proven, and the witness should admit them before it can be said that the statement had been proven. But to say that despite the fact that the witness dissociates himself from that statement, then the state says, no, we will endeavor to show you that the content of that statement actually comes from you, that presupposes a trial within a trial.
It is.
Well, Baloyi said that the lay of the land has changed completely by the evidence of Mr. Zungu, and he says that it's not his statement. So in other words, the authorship of the statement is now in question. Therefore, it's a factual determination, and it has nothing to do with whether or not he signed the statement. At the end of the day, it's a determination that the court, taking into account the evidence, will have to determine whether his version is true or not. It's a simple fact of the matter. Well, the judge said that he agreed with Advocate Baloyi, and he told him to proceed. Who's shocked? Who's surprised? Nothing shocks us anymore.
Yeah, the judgment has been made.
Yes.
See, the problem is that Nisi is disturbing that process from happening smoothly. So it has to be now and then. That's why people get excited. I mean, get angry when Nisi stands up. So, but the judgment has been made, in my opinion. So you can tell. I mean, some of the things they don't even give. They don't even give maybe references as to where they are getting that. Why are they overruling? They just say, I agree. It's a feeling. It's like it's a feeling.
I agree with you. Just proceed. Let's just get this over and done with. That statement must be on record. The judge had the same energy. He also wanted that statement to be on record. It's like him and Advocate Baloyi are in synergy.
So he just wants wants to use the credibility, reliability, and he also wants to now look at the probability of that happening. That's why this guy keeps on saying, how could they have known the names? How could they have known this? They are looking at the probability of Gininda knowing this. Jeez, man, it's disgusting, because looking at how accused number one was treated, how they even traveled to KZN, and you still ask, how could they have known the father?
Remember when I was also trying to hint that I know Gwabini is not saying it direct, but even today I got a sense that Lomuntulo, it seems like he was being stalked before they managed to come and say, you are arrested, on the day that they arrested him. It's almost like he was being studied, in my opinion.
That's why Mnisi must highlight the issue of Zung taking pictures without the consent of this. He must go back and revisit and say that before this thing happened, people were taking pictures.
Unaware.
So the information or the question of whether these people were known to Gininda or not is in tatters, because you cannot now say that they were not known while Gininda, through Zoom, had access.
Yes. So Baloyi also went through the statement, the so-called statement, and it started off with saying, okay, there was a whole shenanigan of wanting him to read the entire thing or to read stanza by stanza and ask a question. Well, the judge ultimately ruled that he must place it on record undisturbed, fully on record. So we're gonna go through it like that. So I, the undersigned Fiso Zungu with ID number or born 1999/09/09, and then Gwabini confirmed that that is actually his birth date, residing at N6/3 Block N Basotong Hostel, Vosloorus. Gwabini says that he actually stays at the S section but cooks at N section. He also confirmed his cell phone number. He said he's self-employed. Let me read it from how it is written, not to make it seem like Gwabini is the one who was saying all of this stuff. It says, I am self-employed as a small businessman in the hostel. And Baloyi asked him if is it correct that he owns a bicycle. Well, Gwabini at this point said no. He uses the to transport goods for people, not that he owns, ownership. He owns it. Well, Baloyi then said, that's what you are saying. You do have a bicycle. Well, Gwabini said, I do, from the bottle store to the person who've ordered the alcohol from the bottle store. He transports it to the hostel or back to the hostel. And this is a question that I remember him getting into in his evidence in chief. I remember him being asked this question. Do you remember that, Mr. Anonymous?
Yes.
And him explaining exactly what he does. And now it's so strange that it is in this alleged statement. But anyway, we move. Baloyi then said, so that information that you are a small businessman is correct. Gwabini denied being referred to as a businessman. He said that I am a businessman. I'm not a businessman. A businessman is someone who owns things. And he says that he doesn't own anything. I think he's referring to assets. And I have to agree with him on this point. I think this thing of calling everyone a businessman is not right. I don't think what he does can be considered as such.
Look, we cannot go into details of that. Yes, what he does, one can say you are a service provider. Then
no, he's self-employed.
Yeah,
he's self-employed.
Self-employed.
I
yes.
don't think.
But the main important thing is that he did not acknowledge that he's a businessman.
Yeah.
So that means he did not say that.
No, he didn't. Actually, he didn't.
That's what is important.
Because he doesn't consider himself as a businessman. So how did businessman end up in that statement? Well, Baloyi said, but that is what you do for a living, to collect orders of alcohol from the bottle store and deliver them at a hostel. And Gwabini said, yes, I do that. Baloyi continued reading the statement, and it said, and I quote, on Wednesday, the 24th of June 2020 at about 21:50, I was approached by Colonel Gininda, who identified himself as a police officer. Gwabini did confirm this, but he could recall, he couldn't recall what day it was. And Baloyi then said the colonel informed me of the purpose of his visit to me. This is Advocate Baloyi reading the statement. He further warned me according to my constitutional rights. And then he asked Gwabini, you testified that Brigadier Gininda gave you a document that he did not read. Gwabini said he did not read it, and they also never read this rights to him. Baloyi said he further said that he is an investigating officer of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And Gwabini said no, he never informed him of such. Gwabini said that to him, he only mentioned Muzi and he never talked about Senzo Meyiwa. I think here is where Advocate Baloyi, with his tactics of trying to confuse the witness, of course, he was referring to when the first day he got arrested. Gwabini is saying that on that day when they arrested him, there was no mention of Senzo Meyiwa. Not to say that in totality, when they held him captive, they never mentioned Senzo Meyiwa. So that was the tricky part there, where I felt like things were getting lost when it comes to how he's asking this question, making it seem like all these events took place in one day. At the beginning of the statement, this is addressing the introduction of Gininda, or how he introduced himself to Gwabini, and then he told him why he was there. And also in the midst of that, we know now that firearms were found and stuff. So I don't think in the midst of that, in my opinion, the Senzo Meyiwa situation was mentioned. I highly doubt. A lot was going on. So Baloyi then said, but you testified in your evidence in chief that they informed you about the death of a goalkeeper and informed them that you do not watch soccer. This happened, the statement, which happened like days later, but Advocate Baloyi is asking it as if this is what happened at the beginning when he got arrested on the first day. And Gwabini said that they were still talking, they were not writing anything. Now this is Gwabini transitioning and going to the time when they were taking down the statement, which was days later. So Baloyi then said, or continued to read, and it said that I was told that the colonel was told that he has a reason to believe that I have knowledge of the information about the perpetrators or suspects who were involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And he said, I know Senzo Meyiwa is a goalkeeper that was killed back in 2014. Gwabini said he knew nothing about soccer. He did not know any goalkeeper. He said even if now you scroll in his phone, you would not come across anything relating to football. So what he's trying to say is that he's not a football fan. He doesn't know what's going on with football.
Yes.
So Baloyi then said, I explained to the kennel, or continue to read the statement, and it said, I explained to the kennel that I'm willing to speak to him freely and voluntarily about my knowledge
Always
of the
freely and voluntarily.
perpetrators.
It's always Kininde has this charming face. You know, people just want to speak, man.
Voluntarily, freely.
People just want to
They just
speak.
look at him and they're like, oh,
It's not like they need a
freely and
beating.
voluntarily.
It's not like they need a beating. He just charms them. They speak.
However, he said he was not personally involved in the death of Senzo Meyiwa. I was warned again according to my constitutional rights and advised that the statement would be taken in terms of the provisions in terms of Section 204 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1997. I understand. Well, Baloyi told Gwabini that that is what was read to him yesterday. And it also continued to read that I can confirm that this statement is made in terms of Section 204 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1997. This is the whole indemnification of an accomplice a statement that he read yesterday to him. He said, I can confirm that I was properly informed that the statement may contain information that may incriminate me in various offenses, and I may be called as a witness on behalf of the prosecution and further be required to answer questions. Remember how yesterday he had to explain to Gwabini what a Section 204 was.
Yeah.
But now in this statement, there's a whole description of a Section 204 statement using a language that I don't think these words came from Gwabini. In
No
my
way.
opinion.
No way. I mean, Nisi should highlight that.
These words did not come from come on.
Nisi should highlight.
Section 204 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1997. Tagabao. Do you think Gwabini would say such and write such, or tell Gininda to write such for him on his statement? Well, it continued to read that I will be discharged from prosecution on such charges or any competent verdict thereon, and that the contents may be utilized in any manner as regarded as admissible as evidence in any trial against me. The facts contained herein are in my personal knowledge, unless otherwise stated, and are both true and correct. In the last weekend of October 2014, at about 1500 hours, I was driving my bicycle, and at this point Mnisi objected and said that there is something that has been read from the statement which has got to do with Section 204 and the mess that is written there. It's a mess, Advocate Mnisi.
It is.
So he said that this witness is not even afforded the opportunity to comment on whether it is him who wrote that thing on that statement, because Advocate Bale just went through it like without asking him that you did say this, you said this, like how he usually does, stanza by stanza. No, he wasn't doing that. He just read the whole thing. Then, so Advocate Nisi highlighted that part, that the witness is not even given a chance to respond to this. Well, the judge said that he thought that it was written by Gininda. Are you saying it was written by him? He says he doesn't know that statement. What are you saying? Well, Nisi explained his objection again to the judge, and he's saying, I'm saying the state says that it is written in the statement that comes from the witness, which was written by Gininda. The judge ordered Baloyi to read the entire statement without asking Gwabini anything at all. So he ordered for Advocate Baloyi to take the approach that he took with the Section 204 with the entire statement, and stop pausing to ask him questions or to confirm or to ask him anything as he's going through that statement, so that it's on record, so that if this case goes anywhere else, people will know what was happening.
Definitely it is going somewhere else.
Well, he asked Gwabini if he knew. Someone was asking, why does it look like he's not afraid of getting appealed or having his matters taken for appeal? It's a norm. It's something that doesn't scare him. I'm worried about that.
He's putting a face.
You think so?
When it comes to this one, he's definitely putting a face.
He's
Obvious.
giving the arrogance of untouchable. Like, you know, and it's like, okay, so you keep bringing this appeal situation up. It's not normal for a judge to say you can appeal. If I can count the number of times he said you can appeal, there are too many. I've lost count.
It is a sign of showing biasness. You are, in a sense, it's a scare tactic that is being used to, if you actually are doubting yourself when it comes to law, you would not appeal. Because he's trying to portray himself as this person who has reached that level of, you cannot appeal me because I am that much guru of law. Which from my point of view, as an outsider, obviously not as a law practitioner, but as an outsider, there is nothing that is wowing me about this judge. Nothing at all. I've seen really good judges who can write their judgment properly. I've seen people who can really debate the issues and be able to exhaust them properly,
seeking questions
without being
giving
biased,
the hand away.
without ascending to the arena.
Yes.
That's a problem with him. It doesn't strike me as a person who really has that, who's at that level, who's sitting at a level of your muhweng and whatnot. He's just a judge. For me, if you ask me, who's usable and available, I don't need to say anymore. Because obviously, I mean, it's available, it's usable. I guess that's what happened.
He's out of retirement. He's available.
So if you're scared of him saying that, you would think that he's really doing things to the T. But this is a psychology that can hit you not to go do what you are supposed to do
Not
for
to
your
be
client.
encouraged.
But I can encourage you, appealing this whole situation that we already kind of have preempted that this is how it's going to go. There's nothing wrong with that. You stand probably high chances of winning if you really know how to put your things together.
And speaking of which, something very strange happened today where the Constitutional Court ruled that you cannot make a prenuptial agreement after lobola. It was so random, you guys. And usually when Constitutional Court cases or judgments are happening, there's usually a story behind it, right? You'll find that they show you the people that this case is pertaining and stuff like that. You're given more information and just details. But then there was this headline, and I'm like, this is very ironic, and the timing of it, especially considering the other day we're talking about black coffee and, you know.
Yeah, considering that coffee is in a process of challenging
trying to appeal. It was so strange and random. Very
sad.
I was caught off guard. I was like, what is going on now?
It is very sad that the so-called customary law is governed by the Western laws.
Yes.
And it is wrong. It is highly inappropriate to actually have this situation, because the situation of lobola is not far from the situation of proposal. It is not far, because proposal are mainly made around people. So now, just because I've paid lobola, they have deemed it as marriage. Who from the chiefs, from the kings and whatnot, who told them to do that? This is the time our kings, they should be at work. I mean, we have seen these organizations, these useless funded organizations used as weapons. This is the time now they should actually form their own to fight this constitution. This constitutional court is really undermining our culture as black people. And this is done on purpose, more so in South Africa. It is creating chaos. It is such ruling are bound
It's
to
almost
make
like they're stopping us from getting married.
such rulings are bound to create a fight among Africans and families. And also these rulings, they are not helping in terms of fighting the likes of GBVs. Because then what do you do in a situation where you find yourself in the situation of you have paid lobola and then all of a sudden you decide
break
to
up.
leave that woman and that woman comes for you now? What do you do?
20 years.
The law supports that
Later.
woman. Other people cannot think the way Black Coffee thinks because they don't have money to go and challenge these things in court, right? What the only way we solve our problem is to eliminate the problem itself.
Yes.
And that's how things escalate from one point to another.
I don't think it's even about the money as well. It's also about, look at how intimidating the court itself is. The ego battles, the waiting 2 years for someone to write the 1-page judgment. That kind of thing, it's time consuming. So a lot of people don't want to go through that process. It's emotionally draining.
No. I beg to differ. Everyone is willing to fight. Yes, you might be scared of court. I mean, it's not you who's going to be standing there. But the main thing is that they know that Black people don't have money, most of them.
Yes.
So we cannot challenge this thing that they're doing. These courts have created this situation of being looked at as a demigod that makes rules for Black people, mainly for Black people,
Yes.
assisting the ones that are oppressing us. I do not like them. They are really used as a tool, a divisive tool that cannot actually create peace among people that should be governed by the same law. So you are dangerous if you're like that. These things started kancane silokhu sihleka sithi awu uZuma kayejele vele kuyasolakala. Such, it shouldn't have happened. Now look at what is happening. This ruling, in fact, has a potential of nullifying a lot of marriages. That is creating chaos.
And we're not talking about marriages or first marriage. We're talking about a situation where now you lobola someone 10 years ago and you broke up and you went your separate ways. Breakups are bad, right? You didn't think about divorcing the person.
How?
There was no need to
why would you
divorce.
divorce a person because there's not even a certificate that says you are married?
Then you marry. 10 years later, you marry the love of your life. You get on with your life.
That marriage is null.
That woman, if they want to really mess you up, they are going to come for your marriage and nullify the marriage that you are in 10 years later. Worse, if you pass away,
They can come for your asset.
they are coming for your pension fund
And they can argue against your wife
and your assets.
and say that this wife is actually not even supposed to be opposing me here.
The 50% is mine.
No, it's not even about 50%. They can really nullify that person to say, he's not even supposed to oppose me.
Joey, do you see the problems and the chaos that this thing has created?
You can't wake up in the next morning and announce such a thing. And it started with that part of it, the building block, is that Rata's judgment.
With Lerato Singadi's case.
A crazy judgment,
Fighting
in my
to
opinion,
WHP's wife.
for a
in
person
death.
who says he fought for freedom. When we call these people N-word in the house, then he catches strays. he feels that way. You can call me whatever. But exactly. What kind of ruling is this as an African? What kind of a ruling is this? Under customary law. And you call yourself a Pan-Africanist.
Someone needs to...
These kings need to stand together and fight this nonsense.
Yeah.
We cannot have courts detecting to us that if I pay 100 rand for a person and say I'm coming
And
back.
I don't think the courts have a place in customary marriage.
No, they have, but they need to do it right. They say the way black
By going
people
through
view
the traditional
yes.
consult.
Why is the white marriage respected to such an extent that marriage to them is marriage when you put a ring on that thing? To us, why do they need to jump the steps and come?
No, but this has created a mess.
It's a mess.
It's created a mess, and it was very interesting seeing a lawyer tweet on X that he actually made a thread about this. I think it's Village Lawyer. He said, I made a thread about this thing in 2020, and even lawyers didn't understand what I'm talking about. They were attacking me and saying I'm crazy, I'm lying. Because that was not the case before. Something happened between the period of 2018 to 2020. The effect started being felt, in my opinion, after Judge Ratam Khwatleng made that ruling with Lerato Sengat. And the lawyers revisited the books and they said, actually, you cannot, lobola is marriage. You cannot just, yabo. And then now, it is creating chaos, especially with estates. It's creating a lot of chaos and a lot of
it's
fights.
still going to create a lot of chaos because that's the aim in any case, to create chaos. We don't want peace.
No. And I remember WHP's father saying in court when the trial was still happening that the Lerato was not fully married to their son. They as a family had not done the final ceremony of accepting her as a wife. Yabo. And Judge Rata didn't even consider that. He
Smart
said it's
one.
the law. It's the law. He had an opportunity there to correct some of the things, but he just decided, no. That lady will have everything. To hell with the family. And you know what the funny thing is? She had not lived with him for many years. So they were separated. But she moaned like a wife.
Because there's assets. Let's continue.
So he asked Gwabini if he knew the statement, and Gwabini said no. Then he accused Mdisi of having declared that there is a dispute about the origin of the statement. So what Baloyi must do is to put the contents of the entire statement on record, and thereafter he can go line by line to find out if he recognizes whatever was on that statement. And he asked him to start even with the heading, the heading there at the top, from the very beginning. Well, Baloyi started that statement, but I'm not going to do that. I will continue where I left off. Okay, I will continue where I left off. And it said, at about 1500 hours, I was driving my bicycle back to block N1/N, Basutung Hostel. It even says Basutwini Hostel now, not Basutung Hostel, Basutwini Hostel, when I found Muzisbia standing together with Mafiga and Tanzi. Tanzi works in the mines in Rustenburg. Insofar as I know, they were standing in the main entrance busy talking. I greeted them shortly. A silver VW Polo arrived, which was driven by Nkani. Wait a minute. So Ntanzi was working in the mines in Rustenburg. Works in the mines in Rustenburg, insofar as I know. Okay, so they were standing in the main entrance, busy talking. He said he greeted them shortly. A silver VW Polo arrived, which was driven by Nkani. Nkani's real name is Fisoguhle Ntuli. He said, I believe then the said VW Polo is a hired car because I saw a red and white color tag on the key holder of the keys that Nkani was holding. I believe the keys were written something Avis.
Did you borrow a car from Avis?
There was another car company that came to testify to that effect. It was not Avis. Nkani was the driver of these vehicles. Fisontuli joined both Mafika, Ntanzi, and Muzisbia. The three moved straight from the main door after talking softly to each other to the bedroom section of Nkani's room.
Now, do you see the difference?
Now Nkani has a room.
Do you see now the difference? Now it's no longer my room, as Gwabini was saying.
Yes.
I mean, as Zungu was saying.
Yes.
Now they went, according to Gwabini, the owner of the room now, the so-called the owner of the room where the meeting happened. Now they went to Nkani's room.
They closed the door behind them. Nkani is also using the names of Sfiso Ntuli. So they are one in the same person.
Sfiso Ntuli.
It's
no longer Fisoguhle Ntuli.
It's no longer Fisoguhle Ntuli.
It's Sfiso Ntuli. That's what I'm trying to say, that if you look at those things, you would realize
someone was
that
trying to correct as
no, it's what all the statements have that thing. All of them. The Sfiso Ntuli, Sfiso Ntuli, Nkani, what, no? Carlos, yes.
It was clear to me that the three had something important and private to discuss. I left to deliver some bottle cases, containers to the customers and returned not long after that. I was expecting visitors. This is someone who's using a bicycle. Not in a bad way, but it wouldn't take the short space of time that is estimated here to do his job of delivering.
No, forget about that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're even going further.
Okay. Let me leave it.
Look at it this way. Check it here. So now, he saw them going to Nkani's room. He's waiting for visitors. Guess who are those visitors?
It's Zungu
and Makosonke and the other guy.
Yes.
From Limpopo, I think. Do you see how separated they are?
Mm-hmm.
They are in room.
Nkani's room.
Nkani's room. He's waiting for visitors. Yes. Continue reading.
He said, when I arrived back in my hostel block, I noticed that the silver Polo was gone. All three were nowhere to be seen inside the block. I met my visitors, who were Makosonke, Zungu from Limpopo, and Zwe Zungu, who is a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
We sat and chatted until it was dark. While we were talking, I heard the VW returning and saw Sfiso Ntuli, Muzisbia, and Mafika Ntanzi walking in. Muzi took one of the drinks and had a sip on it and said, Do you know that Senzo Meyiwa is dead?
Now wait. They are now, because it can be that he's using binoculars that can see through the walls what they are doing in Nkani's room. Now, they are no longer coming back from Nkani's room as he left them there. They are coming back to Gwabini's room. And they are drinking, rejoicing in Gwabini's room. Common thing, do you know Senzo is dead? Zungu said it, right? But the problem with Zungu's story, the whole thing is happening at Gwabini's room.
Yes. Everything is happening at Gwabini's room.
Yes.
from the time that he arrived. There's no mention of Nkani's room.
Yes.
From
Now, Gwabini on the other side is talking about the block, meaning they were staying in the same hostel.
We were shocked to hear this, but we thought maybe he does not mean it. The time of their return could have been between 2000 hours and 2100 hours. So after a few minutes, more or less 20 minutes, two more guys, namely Carlos Buthelezi and Mthokoziseni Mapisa, the two guys were walking in, and he said, I did not see any car. I further recall now that it was a weekend. Carlos as well as Mapisa left, while Nkani left with Ntanzi in the silver polo. A few weeks later, I was approached by Tulimbata, who informed me that my brother/cousin Moses Bia injured her sister because her sister threatened to expose him for his involvement.
It's like a high level explanation from a person who's supposed to explain in detail like Zoom. It's like a high level. Two scenes. These people live in their house as he lives and goes, and he delivers whatever that he needed to deliver. They come back, they are rejoicing in his house now.
Yes.
Because where else can they rejoice as they drink?
Yes.
The other one who was in the house, he saw this whole meeting starting from the scratch.
Yes.
Until they went out with the car.
Yes.
But Zungu is saying, that was happening, Gwabini now. Gwabini is one thing, Zungu, but we are going to separate them like that.
Yes.
Gwabini is saying, as that was happening, he was still waiting for the very same person who's narrating the story as if he was there.
Pretty much. He said, I informed Tuli that the best option is to inform his father, Sbia. Indeed, he was informed. Subsequent to this, a meeting was formed by him. Tuli attended the meeting as well as myself, Muzi's father.
And we have to mention that Tuli does not exist, by the way. These are brothers. These are siblings. Umuzi, no Gwabini. This story that this Gwabini is narrating about, this Tuli does not exist because Muzi does not know that Tuli. So as Gwabini, as their siblings also, he does not know this Tuli.
No. And they are saying Tuli is the sister of Muzi. That Muzi does not know.
And according to the narrator, yes, he's the sister of Muzi. She's a sister of Muzi.
Well, Tuli was apparently offered money by Muzi's father in order to silence her from talking about the fact that Muzi said he was involved in the death of
Listen
Senzo.
how stupid this sounds. A sister of Muzi, according to the narrator, was allocated money or given money by his father.
Her own father.
Her own father. To not snitch on the brother. It's like a sibling issue.
And this took a whole family meeting.
Family meeting. The father went outside to arrange the meeting of what he could have solved as a father of his kids fighting.
He further said that
this Tuli sounds like a Tuli who's coming from the outside, but according to that court, we are told that Tuli is the sister
of Muzi. He further said that she must not pursue a criminal case against his son in exchange for money. An amount of 4,000 rands was given to her. The following people attended the meeting: Nomalis Bia Mkondo with Zonda, Shindidi Sibia, Meluzis Bia, Mzondo Mtokozi, Mzikaifani Sibia. Those names are very suspicious.
There's nothing suspicious. There are names like that. It's fine.
Zondo, Mkondo.
No, I'm not saying they are there. I'm saying they are there. Old people's names they sound like that.
Muzika ifani.
But the main issue here, besides going on the names of these people, there is really, does it make sense to you that you are a father of these two people that are fighting?
Yes.
You call the whole community to hear your ndabas.
To bribe your daughter.
To
not
so that they can have a witness that you bribed them not to get their brother, your son, arrested.
I was made to donate 100 rands to assist in the donations that must be given to Tuli in order to protect Muzi from being arrested. Indeed, the money was given to Tuli.
Do you see because it is not clear other than the statement of Zungu that is making him an accomplice based on the gun issue. Here, I think they were still on the begging stage saying, man, we're going to say you were an accomplice because you fork out 100 rand. Let's make it 100 rand of bribing a person so that you don't, it's not a big issue, just 100 rand to bribe a person from obstructing the ends of justice.
It further on went to say, you guys, I'm not sure if Tuli's sister by the name of Teliwe died or not, but I have never seen her alive or heard of her from that day.
And it does not, in fact, it does not exist also. It could be true that he has never seen him alive in that statement because he denies that Teliwe also. So as Muzi denies the Teliwe that there's ever a person that is called Teliwe.
Somewhere in 2015 in December, I went to my homeland in Mahlabatini where I bumped into Mafika Ntanzi. We greeted each other and spoke. I asked him what happened to him because I last saw him in October 2014 in Vosloorus. Mafika told me that he thought my brother Muzi told me why they were there. I said to him, no, he did not tell me. Mafika told me that they were there in Vosloorus to do a job of killing Senzo Meyiwa. That is why he left his work to Vosloorus. He further told me that all 5 of them who were present, that they were involved in the death of Senzo Meyiwa, namely Muzi Sibia, Sfiso Ntuli, Carlos Buthelezi, Mapisa, and Mafika Ntanzi. While we were talking, Muzi Sibia approached us as he was also in a Mahlabatini. He said, I was shocked to hear this.
Do you see how they are narrating as this person is also coming from a different household, but they are siblings?
Yeah. They're making it seem like
they're now meeting
people who just know
in
each other.
How stupid can you be? Your story is just falling into. Like, you bump into Ntanzi tells you this bomb, and then the person you're talking about, it just comes.
He said, I asked Muzi this. He admitted this, and he said he could not have told me this because he does not want me to know his crimes. I was further shocked to know that these people killed Senzo Meyiwa. He said, I further know that Muzi Sibia was possessing illegal firearms from time to time. He further knows that he does not have a license to possess a firearm.
Do you see the difference? It's not Ntanzi now.
Yeah, it's Muzi now.
Who was taunted as a supplier of guns.
It's Muzi.
It's Muzi now who possesses firearms.
Somewhere in 2016, Muzi Sibia shot another girl called Ntombentle Ndaba because he accused her of stealing his cell phone. Somewhere in 2012, Muzi Sibia that's another girl called Ntombentle Ndaba because he accused her of stealing his cell phone. Muzi shot this woman more or less 11 times And what I don't understand is that they're saying somewhere in 2012 and then again another year of 2016 is given with regards to this incident of shooting. Somewhere in 2016 and then later on it says somewhere in 2012. So I don't know which one is which. But the shooting of 11 times. Normally Sibia, who is Muzi's father, spoke to the relatives of Ntombenhle and an amount of 5,000 rands to stop the case against Muzi Sibia. He said, I further want to state that Sifiso Nkani is also known as Sifiso Zungu or Sifiso Ntuli.
A Zungu, who is a Zungu, is not sure what Nkani is as an uncle of his brother. He's not sure that the uncle of his brother is Zungu or Ntuli.
And this Fiso Zungu Ntuli.
And this is a family member.
That the same mistake is made in another statement.
This is a family member.
I don't believe in coincidences, Kemna. I'm over that with this case. He said, I'm not sure whether Zungu is his mother's surname.
How can you be not sure? Because your brother and this man, they are related. How can you be not sure about the surname? You know, this is the time where you ask questions. Kininda, is that you? Or Zoe, Sizwe, is that you? You know, you start asking questions, man.
I can also confirm that on the day Senzo was killed, all the five, namely Sifiso Ntuli, Muzi Sibia Mapisa, Carlos Buthelezi, and then it said he could be using another surname in brackets.
The same thing that
as
happened.
Well as Mafika Ntanzi were all together.
Where were they all together? Where? In your house? That's what we are expecting, Pearl. To collaborate. The men of collaboration should have collaborated this. You confirm where were they together?
Mafika also confirmed that they all participated in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. This was also confirmed to me by Muzi Sibia. I am not exactly sure who pulled the trigger, but it was clear that all five of them were part of it. When Muzi and Mafika told me, they also told me that the information to kill Senzo Meyiwa also came from his girlfriend, Kelly Kumalo. I can be able to identify the suspects above if I see them again. Muzi Sibia, Mafika Ntanzi, Nkani Sifiso Ntuli, Ozungu Mapisa, and Carlos Buthelezi. I further want to state that there was another meeting that was called.
You can be able to identify the perpetrator if you see them again. Muzi is your brother. Accused number 2 is your dear friend.
Accused number 4 is your
accused number 4 is your
uncle.
Is your uncle, because he stays from the side where your mother comes from. So you know these people. It's not like you have seen them that day.
Accused
and
number
then
5 is your
accused
cousin.
number 5 is your cousin. You don't know accused number 3. Maybe that would be fitting to say to accused number 3. If you admitted that
if
day.
I were to see them,
yeah,
I would be able to identify them.
Does that sound like someone who, as Gwabini has already said, I know these ones. I don't know only accused number 3.
It said, I further want to state that there was another meeting that was called by Muzi's father to Emahlabatini, where it was alleged that Nombuso was threatening to report Muzi Sibia for killing Senzo Meyiwa. Wasn't it Ntombenhle or something like that? When did we change to Nombuso now? Is it the same person or is it 2 different people?
It's a third woman that we don't know.
On the meeting, the 2 girls admitted that they did admit that they will inform the police about Muzi's involvement in the death of Senzo Meyiwa. They said Muzi Sibia told them this himself on previous occasions when he was showing off that he is a real man. When an argument between the there was a space there. I don't know whether something was missing.
So
but it says,
so
when the
initially,
argument-
how did they know initially? If we are talking about the same people, if we're talking about different people, but these ones that were paid off, the siblings. Now this one and the other one that we don't know because it's two of them. Also, they are going in pairs.
Kadi 2-2. So when an argument between there was a break there started, Muzi threatened to shoot them and actually fired a shot. It said here, I was there personally when this happened in Foslora's hostel. So this statement is saying that Gwabini is a witness to the 11 times shooting. Didn't the trial for the 11 times shooting occur? Because there's a sentencing for it. Muzi has received a lot of years.
Is this the 11th shooting? The Mbuso is a girlfriend, isn't it a girlfriend?
There's Nombuzo and then there's a Ntombentla or something like that. There's two different names that I have picked up. So I don't know whether it's the same person who's said to be their girlfriend or it's two different people. That has not yet made sense in the statement. As always, Muzi's father requested these two girls to keep this information between the family. I don't know how much money was given to them, but an agreement was reached to this effect. So it was two girls.
So
It's Nombuso and...
because the girlfriend, there was a talking that happened between the families. Now these ones, they are told to keep it cool. We'll pay you again.
The judge ordered Baloyi to commence with his cross-examination of the state, and he said that he did what he did so that they mustn't waste time. To me, it felt like a waste of time, but either way, Sizotin. Gwabini said that he knows
was putting
nothing.
this on record.
He just
clean.
wanted the whole thing to be uninterrupted
So that he
and
can-
based on record. Yes.
He can nail them properly
There is no truth.
without any disturbance.
Yes. To character assassinate, to do that thing, that whole character credibility thingy. Yes. Baloyi asked him if he rides a bicycle after Gwabini told him that even if you ask Mafika, he does not know where he stays. He doesn't even know that he rides a bicycle. So Gwabini said, he doesn't think that they know that he even rides a bicycle. They don't even know where he stays when he's in Gauteng. So he said he does ride a bicycle. But if you ask Ntanzi, he's the person that needs to be asked by the state whether he knows that Gwabini rides a bicycle or not. Baloyi then said, how will the person who took down the statement, Brigadier Gininda, have known about this fact? Well, Gwabini said, can I just elaborate that on the bicycle issue? 2017, when Constable Zungu came to visit me for the first time with Makosonke, he met me with Muzi. They were traveling in a police vehicle. They were going to the gold spot. Baloyi then interrupted Gwabini here and repeated the question. It seemed like he was getting annoyed. He didn't want him to tell stories, but Brigadier Gininda was allowed to tell all the stories that he wanted to tell. Nisi objected and said, the witness said, let me explain. How do I know? He's busy explaining. And then the state says, how does he know? Let the witness explain. The court has been saying all along that the witness must be given an opportunity to explain himself out. So Baloyi then said the question is confined to how Brigadier Gininda would have known about the fact that he rides a bicycle. It doesn't call for any long explanation. I'm like, look who's talking. The judge said, what about the story about Makosonke? You don't want to know about Makosonke? Asking Baloyi. Well, Baloyi said, my lord, the question is only about how the information would have been found. It's weigh here if he says that there's no statement that he made. Well, the judge said that's not what he says. Let's hear what he says, because the other question that he answered, he said it even Mafika. Sorry, Muzi, accused number 1 doesn't even know that I ride a bicycle. It seems like he's getting confused. He doesn't know who Mafika is. Yabo. So he says that there's perhaps somebody who knows that he rides a bicycle and it happens to be Gininda. Nisi corrected him and said that he did not mention Muzi. He spoke about Mafika. And so he doesn't know who Mafika is, and that cannot be imputed to accused number 1. So the judge said that they're talking about somebody else. It's not a problem. And Gwabini continued with explaining his side. He said, I then came across Muzi. They were traveling in a police vehicle. Muzi was seated at the back together with Makosonke, and together with Constable Zungu, they were going to the gold spot. And he said that's where Muzi called him out. And while he was in his bicycle, he called him Muziwati. He had visitors, that Gwabini had visitors. And then he said, I asked him, where are those people coming from? Because I had not seen Zwe in a long time. I told them to go. I will meet with them at home. I think previously suggested that whatever was written in the statement must be purported to be coming from Muzi, must be transferred to his statement that he could sign. He said, I think that is where Brigadier Gininda then got the information that I was riding a bicycle. So Baloyi then asked him, are you suggesting that if we go to the statement of accused number 1, we will find a portion that refers to you riding a bicycle? Gwabini said, I don't know. I'm saying that is where I think he got the information from, because I never wrote a statement. Gwabini also said that he had not commented regarding the AVs and the keys to show that the VW Polo, the silver VW Polo, was hired. And Gwabini said that what you are talking about here is something that happened in 2017 and not 2014. In 2017, when it was for the very first time that I visited Constable Zungu, he was driving a white Polo, not a silver one. The AVL records of that white silver Polo that Constable Zungu says he was driving in 2014, and now Gwabini says he was actually driving it in 2017. Those AVL records, the state
and it's white.
And it's white.
It's not silver.
Now what I'm leaning with this case, Mr. Anonymous, I don't want to lie. It has made me so paranoid that even when I see visitors or have visitors, I will write down the number plate. You never know what the future holds. Or take a picture. Imagine if they had the number plates of that white Polo. There is nothing that ever said about 2014, and he said he knows nothing about that. Baloyi asked Gwabini what are the full names of Constable Zungu, and Gwabini said that the one that he knows of is Sizwe. And he asked him, is it correct that Zwe is short for Sizwe? And Gwabini said he doesn't know, but it is how you refer to him as Zwe. Well,
at
Gwabini
home.
said that is how he was called at home, that he was Zwe. And Baloyi asked him, how would this name Zwe found its way to the statement? Gwabini said he doesn't know.
Uzwe, ukhona no Zwe, ozweli. Zwe, there are many, Zwe, come on.
Well, Baloyi said, is Tuli Mbata known to you? Well, Gwabini said he doesn't know Tuli. And Baloyi asked him, how would Brigadier Gininda have known that Muzi Spear is your brother or cousin? Gwabini said he doesn't know. Perhaps Constable Zungu, I don't know. But he said he doesn't know, but...
That's what I hate. You should say Zungu knows.
He should say it, ne?
Yeah.
Perhaps Constable Zungu told him. I mean...
Not even perhaps.
So when asked about Muzi's father, Gwabini said Babumdala, he's his father's eldest brother. And Baloyi asked him how would Brigadier Gininda have known this information. Gwabini said that what I think is that he had said to me that Muzi wrote a statement, but I think he got it from there. Baloyi asked Gwabini if he knew the people that the statement claims they attended the meeting. Normali Sibia, Mkonda, Zonda, Shindidi Sibia, Melusi Sibia, Mzondo Mtokozi, Mzika Ifani Sibia. Gwabini said no, he doesn't know them. They don't have Zondas. Baloyi reread the part where it said that Gwabini allegedly assisted with 100 rand that was to be given to Tuli in order to protect Muzi from being arrested. Gwabini said he does not know. And Baloyi then said, but how would this information have found its way in this affidavit? And Gwabini said, would I pay 100 rand when I only get 8 rands for delivering one case? This made my heart just... Because 8 rand, it means he would work maybe an entire day or estimation of maybe 2 to 3 days. So he was asking, why would I give away 100 rand when I have to work so hard?
Such a big amount of money for someone. Because, I mean, it's difficult to even reach that 100 rand.
In a day. And then Baloyi said, but what is your comment? How would this information have been included in the affidavit? Mdisi objected, asking, is the state suggesting with this very last... Yeah?
Yes, he was literally insinuating that it is correct that thing happened.
He's asking, is the state suggesting that this very last question then suggesting that this information is correct? Well, the judge said that as he understands Mr. Baloyi is asking a question, how did it come about that the information is in a statement written by Gininda? That's all. Well, Mlisi then said the implication being that therefore that information is correct.
Is correct. Because if you are using it to verify what could be credibility of someone, then you are implying that information exists.
Well, the judge said, no, please, you are entitled to ask questions, Mr. Baloyi. Well, Baloyi continued, and he said, how would this information have found its way to the affidavit? Gwabini said he doesn't know. And Baloyi asked, are the names known to you? Gwabini said he knew none of those people. And they asked, you
might as well ask, how did that information find its way there? Because that's how we roll now. Even if he doesn't know, we just ask.
Well, Gwabini said normally is his father's elder brother and Muzi's father. So after the long adjournment, Baloyi asked Gwabini if he knew the name of accused number 5's mother, Batitelele Zungu, and Gwabini said that he did not know her, and he doesn't know Zungu's surname ended up and how it ended up in that statement. Baloyi read where it said that he can confirm that on the day Senzo was killed, all the 5 accused, including Carlos Buthelezi, who could be using another surname, were all together. We just found out Carlos Buthelezi is the one of the Buthelezi brothers, did we not? So now this whole insinuating of trying to make accused number 3 Carlos Buthelezi is rather strange, because this person exists. It's not like it's a mistaken identity or you got the name wrong of that particular individual and you just happen to get the wrong name, which is how they're making it seem. There is a Carlos Buthelezi.
Is it there?
Yes, I think there is amongst the Buthelezi brothers.
Does it not? But I'm not sure.
Oh, you're not sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I will double
I know
check.
that accused number 3 is associated on the basis of what he was working with, the Buthelezi taxi.
Oh. So Gwabini then said, I don't know. Baloyi then said, well, accused number 3 is Mr. Mtobisi Prince Mncube, and it's on record that it's also Constable Zungu who will testify that he's also from the Buthelezi clan. and he's also known as Carlos. So they are saying now that accused number 3 is a Buthelezi.
No, he's not a Buthelezi.
That's what Balo is insinuating.
It was association. It's like you are in Kabi for, I'm making an example, for Buthelezi, then Bazogbi's Buthelezi boy. Those who know you. That's how I think.
That's the terminology, how it works.
I'm not saying he was in Kabi, but I'm just saying that's how. Maybe if you were driving a taxi, I got Buthelezi, you Buthelezi boy.
You are a Buthelezi boy. If you are working for the Buthelezi,
your surname is suppressed. Then the man who's known, which is Buthelezi, is the one that prevails.
Oh.
But not that you are related to Buthelezi. I don't know.
Okay. So how would this information have you found its way, or did it find its way in the affidavit? And Gwabini said he doesn't know. He said he knows accused number 2 as Mafika, not Bongani. And Baloi said that it can only be someone who knows accused number 2 very well to refer to him as Mafika General.
Yes, you are right. It must be someone who knows Mafika more than just being a friend, because a friend mostly is gonna know you by school name, what we call school name, Bongan. He's gonna know you ngomafika, igama lomsizo.
Well, Gwabini said he does not know him that well. He's just an acquaintance, a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Baloi was now fast forwarding and reading paragraphs before allowing Gwabini to comment, in my opinion. But Mnisi wanted Gwabini to be asked to comment on the specific part where Mafika, it says Mafika also confirmed that they all participated in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. There was no comment there that was asked of Gwabini, that was requested from the witness. And he said, Advocate Nisi, we don't know what his answer is to that too. Well, Gwabini said he didn't know anything about that. Gwabini said he knows Muzi, Mafika, Mapisa, and Duli. However, he did not know Carlos Buthelezi. And Gwabini said he does not know Nombuso as well. Nombuso is the one who is said to have received 4,000 rands.
Nombuso is the one who's said to have been a girlfriend.
Okay. So then Baloi said that, Mr. Zungu, are you saying that you requested Brigadier Gininda to take whatever accused number 1 Moses Bia said in the statement and incorporate it to your affidavit? Gwabini said no. He said that there was something that was said about me by Muzi. I then said he must take that which he claims was said about me and write it here in my statement. While Baloi said, and you are saying that this is not the information that is being read out to you. Gwabini said, as I said from the beginning, that I don't know. And Baloi then asked him, are you suggesting that Brigadier Gininda substituted the information that was contained in that statement that you signed with an S to this statement? Well, Gwabini said, I don't know what I signed. My statement was never read. And Baloi handed up that statement as an exhibit and now embarked on a mission to compare Gwabini so-called statement with accused number 1's confession. Nisi said that he would just wish to put it on record that this witness has said in time and time again that he does not know what is contained in the statement that Gininda said accused number 1 made, wherein he mentions or he says something about him. And he also does not know, and in fact he also did not make a statement whatsoever. So the process that the state now wants to embark on in order to compare the two statements that this witness says is not privy to content thereof is highly irregular. That is all that he wanted to place on record. Well, the judge said he doesn't think so. He doesn't think that it is irregular. And he asked Advocate Baloi to continue because he said that they are told by the evidence of Mr. Gwabini that he himself, not Gininda, that he himself instructed Gininda to transfer what is contained in the statement of accused number 1, which relates to him in a statement that he signed. So, yeah, it's all very weird because the witness is saying, I signed with an S, and now statements are coming and they have different signatures that have names and full names and initials with the surname. Different pages have different surnames, and that is not alarming. That is okay. It is allowed. That is his signature. It is being imposed on him. Well, Baloyi read accused number one's confession and asked Gininda if there's anything that refers to him or he knows after every sentence. Well, Baloyi finished also reading the confession and asked asked Gwabini, do you agree that in both these statements that were made by accused number one, there's nowhere where he refers to your name? Well, Gwabini said, I hear what is being said there, but I'm saying that what is being said there, which was said by someone who came to take a statement from me, as to what that person said, I don't know. He was referring to Brigadier Gininda.
Yes.
Well, Baloyi said, why would Brigadier Gininda say something that is not contained in any of the two statements made by accused number one? Gwabini said, I don't know.
Why would he say Zulu?
Because writing the statement, he never read it back to me. Baloyi showed him photos and asked him to indicate if he knew the people depicted in the photos. While Gwabini identified Mafika, Baloyi asked him to describe his beard. Gwabini could not see the beard clearly. In another picture, he said Mafika does not have such a beard, Gwabini. He said that is a big beard on that picture. And he said that Tanzi did not have a beard. Even growing up, he did not have a big beard.
We've been saying that. We don't know him, but we could see. What you are saying when I Gwabini, may I agree with you?
But that court, they don't care, Mama.
That court,
Well, he said, Tanzi, even if you look at him, he does not have that round beard. Baloyi now wanted Gwabini to comment on the jerseys that the accused number two was wearing on the photos. Ramasipil at this point objected for his client. He said, I don't know what the relevance of what the person depicted in the picture is wearing is to the witness. Well, the judge asked for the relevance to Advocate Baloyi, and Advocate Baloyi responded by saying it's just to find out if we can recognize the person on the photos. He has already said he recognizes the previous photo. Well, Ramasipili said he was asking about the questioning about the relevance of the garments. If he can recognize the garments worn by the person on the photo. Well, the judge said that this case is a case about garments. And they never objected before. People are always being asked about what they were wearing, what they are wearing. Even the deceased Senzo Meyiwa's t-shirt was mentioned. So he was claiming not to know what the objection was about. And he asked Advocate Baloyi to continue. While Gwabini said he could not recognize those garments. And that is at the point where Advocate Baloyi asked to adjourn.
Press the like button, guys, please.
So they want him to say that he can recognize the jersey.
Yes.
And that is the jersey that could have possibly been the one that they were looking for and they did not find.
So between Gwabini and Zungu, the Zungus, who's older than who?
Muzi's older. Muzi's older than Gwabini.
Between Gwabini and Zungu, who's older than who?
Aren't they around the same age? I wouldn't know.
I'm not talking about their age. I know Sizwe is old, in my opinion. I'm talking about the statement. Which one was born first?
Oh, definitely Sizwe Zungu's one. Constable Zungu's one.
No.
You don't think so?
The Zungu statement, Sizwe Zungu statement, if you listen to it, it sounds like a contingent that happened when Gwabini could not come forth.
You know what I think?
After this section 204?
I'm listening.
Zungu statement is new.
After the section 204 statement.
Because remember, Gwabini was arrested. Around the same time as Muzi. So Zungu probably did not budge. And then the other Zungu, Uyebo, was like, yes, I want a promotion.
It was written in 2023.
Yes. In fact, it does sound like that. Yebo. Press the like
That's
button,
the
guys.
Carlos Buthelezi, the
They still made mistakes. You know, that kind of... you know that person... Nah, I was one of those people that... I was very generous. If you were struggling and you wanted to copy, I would allow you to copy. But you know that one that you allow to copy, and they copy your name
exactly as it is.
They copy your name.
Word. Oh my God, why?
That is not an issue, because even teachers, they take time to recognize that because they are marking many papers. But the problem starts when you start copying a name, anonymous.
Copy everything.
Really? You had time to reflect. 2020, 2023, you still make...
Or I make a mistake and you copy my mistake exactly.
I remember. Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Let me tell you this one. I remember I was at high school. I almost said the name of my high school. I was at high school. We were doing grade 12. So there was this woman, very energetic woman who was a English teacher of ours.
Yes.
She was like a mother, you know. In fact, she was older than my mother. She was the type of a teacher that shouts a lot, you know. You know, she would tell you indaba zakho nje like that. So she had this kind of a voice. So this guy who came to our school, who was coming from Comtech, I think Devon, then he came to our school. So the guy, you know, had a problem. You know, we used to call him Devon because they asked him his name when he came into school. He just answered Devon. It was an English question, like, what's your name? And then he said Devon. And I said, Kamalaku Devon. No. So this other time, it was, I think, a June paper. There was still higher grade and standard grade. So I was doing higher grade, and then the guy was doing standard grade. Then we got a memo of standard grade paper that so this guy took the whole memo, English paper, and he went to write everything from question 1 to the last question. It was paper 1. Yeah. Okay. The problem with that paper, it had a mistake. And the teacher, which was Mgenge, she already knew that there was a mistake. So, well, we write the papers, higher grade, you know, exam. In our times, they would give you, maybe your next door, standard grade, next to you, because we were sitting on the desk, those desks where you sit 2 by 2.
Yes.
And then this side, the higher grade. So they'll give you a standard grade paper, this one. Then they gave me a higher grade paper. This one, halfway, he was busy pretending to be writing with Devon. Halfway, boom, ephaketheni. Here's the paper. It was already written from question 1. I think it was question up until question 7.
So he didn't even read the question paper.
No. He got the memo, wrote everything.
That's not a good idea.
I remember we got that paper from there's this guy who was called Nyambos. His father was a principal. So Ulahli Said, the principal, when the papers arrived, he took them to his room. Nyambos, because it was common paper. And then we come to this class today. Silent. What in Bongo? Hey. You know, our school is like Rondovel's design, ne? Like inside that Rondovel, you have like 5 classes.
Wow.
So she's angry. You could hear when someone's shouting from one class. Oh, yes. Gave papers to everyone, and then he holds this one. It's like, yeah, Devin. You know, I started marking your paper when we were doing grade 10. In my lifetime, Devin, we have never exceeded 50. But today,
that's suspicious.
But today, you got 100%. 100% in my paper. And then Devin was happy. And then I was like, oh, you know, the problem is you didn't just get 100%. You even got the mistake correct. I was like,
oh my God.
Oh, shit. And then they took that paper, they teared it. They said, you know what? I'm going to do, Devin. I'm going to make it fair to you because you're a smart kid. I'm going to make you write this paper, the very same paper.
Yes.
But I'm going to be the one invigilating it. And he wrote the paper, he got 40. What is that? Oh, high school times, man. It was one of those days. It was very nice, man. It was very nice those times. But yeah, so I remember.
But you've got like a good 2 hours. Like, why not read the question paper? Spare yourself.
You know what those people used to do?
Why are you gonna bring a whole thing copied and just chill and relax?
They'll come with the paper, even if they get a paper and there's a memo, they'll come to us and say, you're doing high grade. Write a standard grade maths paper. We can give you a high grade paper. Avele Tina, when we had that pride, man, top 10 of the school, we didn't want to, we wanted to do it the right way. It was always about that. If you copy, then takes away your. I was staying. My maths teacher was my guardian, so I was staying with him.
Okay.
So I was not motivated when it comes to that. So I would write this paper, write it for them, and then they would fold these papers and put them on the socks there. They would write. Once they deliver the papers, they give you the papers, and then they just take them out of the socks. They would wait maybe for 30 minutes, take them out of the socks and put it there. And then they go mark. The problem was December. That was when we were writing final exam. There. The paper was there. No way. No way. There, Vele, you have to go do what you've been doing all these years. This time.
Reminds me of also in high school we had I had another girl who would literally copy the question paper
and submit it as it is. I know those ones.
And she looks so serious and focused. You think she's writing proper stuff?
She's copying the paper, the questions and everything, writing it as it is. Yeah.
And even underlining, she always had a ruler.
Very neat. Very neat.
With the most beautiful, neat handwriting.
Yeah, you get this one. And then adversity at UP. I saw this other kid, this other white lady. So we were writing, and the paper came. a state's paper came. You know when you are in doubt, I'm thinking she was in doubt. She was not my friend. I don't know. But when you are doubting, you want a sick note.
Yes.
But you're like, man, let me go right.
Just go. Maybe I did study enough here, but maybe let me just.
Hey, that lecture, it was time series. That lecture, that paper was dribbling.
Time series is hard.
That paper was dribbling. When they delivered the paper, I'm sitting behind her. She's in front. She flipped page 1. When the paper is going to Muriune, you see by flipping. She flipped page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. I could see her sweating and I could see the hairs, changing. And she went back. She went back and flipped again. She left that paper. She cried and went out.
Sick exam.
The problem is that you don't get sick exam.
If you showed up for
you showed up, you have marked the register.
How much we sit and we fight.
Fight?
Why are you crying? We fight. You've got 3 hours.
Fight.
Something has got to give.
Well, there are papers in this world, ne? I think maths paper, stats paper.
Yeah, you can never prepare.
Engineering papers.
You can never prepare enough.
If you don't know, you don't know. There is no waiting. You could swing it with economics, for example. Like, okay, let me think about this topic. They give you a topic and say economic growth, what happened in South Africa during this time. You can freestyle there and get a 5 out of maybe 20, But when it comes to maths, if you are first year, you don't know squeeze theorem, you don't know it. There is no way. Don't forget this thing of watching these movies. This guy who's got a picture memory. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't
work. If you didn't practice it enough.
It does not work like that.
You don't know it. You don't know it.
It does not work like that, Simchan.
You will leave it blank. There are many questions I used to leave blank.
It does not work like that. I remember also I wrote one paper when I came to varsity.
Like, I don't know how to do this.
You're coming from high school, you're thinking you are a star. I mean, you got mathematics with it. Hey, first practical, 0. 0.
You would be humble.
First practical, 0. I called my mother. I was sitting there by the art site. Called my mother. I want to come home. I want to come.
Do what?
And then I realized I'm not going back there. But hey, thank you guys. It has been good. It's nice. I mean, if we talk about Rata and finish it like that, guys, uyabona lo muntu lo ufuna ukusibulala vele. Le case le izophela ni nama heart attack, ni nama panic attack and whatnot. But it's okay. If it was according to me, the appeal, if they had money, these guys, the appeal would be starting right now.
Yeah.
And guess what I'm going to say now? What I'm going to say, I also don't believe it myself, but I'm going to say it. I would have gotten a white lawyer for an appeal.
Drops the mic.
That's why I dropped the mic. Bio. Press the like button, guys. Please. We love you. Enjoy. Hi, Ned. Thanks for adding little humor to heavy topic. I need that laughter. Love you guys. Thank you. Xolile. Hey. Xoli. Mhwangana. Siyabonga bafethu. Irene Zulu. Siyabonga. And everyone else that I didn't mention. God bless you guys. Sibonge nje ukubanani until kusasa.
Until tomorrow, guys.
Namhlanje. Thank you.
Appreciate you so much. Bye.